how the White House orchestrated Trump's Oval Office ambush of South African president. Moments before President Donald Trump escorted his South African counterpart into the Oval Office on Wednesday, White House aides could be seen wheeling two large screen televisions down the driveway and into the West Wing. Little could have prepared President Cyril Ramaphosa for what he was about to see. Trump ordered the lights dimmed and launched into what amounted to an ambush of his visitor, screening a video he claimed was evidence for his false suggestions that white South Africans are being subjected to persecution and genocide. A shocked Ramaphosa, who had just been exchanging pleasantries with Trump about golf, watched silently. An experienced diplomat who once served as Nelson Mandela's chief negotiator during the talks to end white minority rule, Ramaphosa could barely disguise his discomfort. The moment was an orchestrated one, with Trump's team also having printed out articles for him to hold up in front of the camera that he said backed up his claims of white genocide. It was perhaps inevitable that Trump would use the meeting to advance the fringe claims, which has amplified for months, that white farmers in South Africa are having their land seized and are being killed in massive numbers. Just last week, 59 white South Africans arrived in the United States after being granted refugee status by the White House. Since taking office in January, Trump has shown little hesitation at turning his meetings into moments for public hostility. Yet the multimedia surprise exceeded anything he has previously staged in the White House. Even his shouting match with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in February, which appeared to some critics as pre-planned trap, did not come with visual aids. A White House official said Trump was using Wednesday's event to shed light on an issue that the administration believes the media has turned a blind eye to. CNN has investigated the claims of white genocide in South Africa and found no evidence to back them up. However, Trump said he had heard from thousands of people about the issue, and despite Ramaphosa's calm attempts to describe his country's situation and pick apart Trump's allegations, Trump appeared unmoved. Death, 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 horrible death, he uttered, flipping through the pages of his article printouts. As evidence of the scene was unfolding, Trump and his team had done extensive planning ahead of time to attempt to back up the unsubstantiated claims of white persecution. Aides said they had anticipated the issue would be at the heart of the Oval Office sit-down and took notice when Ramaphosa said before traveling to the White House he had hoped to disavow Trump of his misguided views. They helped inspire the White House plan to come to the talks armed with materials and play the video, which depicted firebrand opposition politician Julius Malema making calls for violence against white farmers. Shortly after the video finished playing, the White House had posted a copy on its official social media accounts. The articles Trump waved around during the session were systematically shared online by aides. This was a very so
the videos that he showed them were from the Congo. They weren't even from South Africa.
This is what I heard too. You know what I'm saying? This is a very disturbing. Like, I watched that whole entire meeting that they had, and I watched the entire thing. And it was very disturbing to me because what I saw was the exact same thing these people have been doing for years to just to black people in general, but to any country of color. They were basically demeaning them. He sat there, he brought like a couple of golfers, white golfers. They were South African, born golfers. And he gave them, and a billionaire who was there, who was a white South African as well. He gave them more credit for speaking than he gave the delegation of blacks who were sitting there. They almost had to use them to say, hey, talk to this man. It was a demeaning thing. To me, it shows where this country is heading. Y'all don't understand this, but people of African countries of color are taking over. It's what it is. America is already flipping its demographics from being a majority European, because I don't even like to use word white, because there's no such thing as white. A European-based nation to being a nation of people of color, period. That's what's happening here. So him sitting there in the Oval Office, demeaning this man and not letting him speak for himself, but taking the word of people who are not even in the government. And the one white man who's in the government, he's siding with this group of this politician right here, because he doesn't want the other guy who was saying death to white people, quote unquote, to be to end up being the leading party, in South Africa. So this is why he's even here. It's crazy to me that we're sitting here letting him point out a fringe candidate like, hey, look at this guy. He's saying this. You know how many fringe people we have in this country who say stuff? We watch Nazis on a bridge.
Well, somebody pointed it out too. They're like, Trump, while surrounded by portraits of slaveholders and men who slaughtered Native Americans, lectured South African on human rights.
We got people who sit here on a bridge calling for death to blacks and all kinds of stuff. It happens in this country. Don't act like it don't. We got murders we got a lot of murders that happen in this country. Don't act like it doesn't happen. We all know this stuff, but you want to sit here and preach this person, but they're just so happen to be white. Do you care about what's going on, the genocide in Sudan? Do you care about that? What about the DR Congo? You didn't say nothing about those. You're worried about these people. You're telling everybody who you are. And I'm no longer going to say you're racist. You're a racist. That's just what this is. This entire policy is racist. Elon Musk is a racist. He's from a racist regime. If it's me and I'm in South Africa, I'm taking their lands as well. They own 80% of the arable farmland is owned by 7% of the population. How? You know why? I mean, most of the wealth in the country, the wealthiest man in your country is a Afrikaner, which is a European skinned person. How? Because they own everything. They came to your country, killed your people. This is what they did when they came here. So, I mean, and then one of the golfers had the nerve to say, well, two wrongs don't make a right. Like what wrong has happened? What wrong? You haven't been wronged. You came to someone else's land, your forefathers, took the land, took their property. So if they take it back now, it's just like when Trump said about you came and conquered an untamed land. Remember when you guys came and conquered an untamed land here in America? They're coming to take their stuff back. We should have no problem with that. And if they want to leave, go back to where you're from, which is Germany, the Dutch lands up there as well, Belgium, countries like that. That's where you're from. You're not from here. So go back to those places. Why are they coming here? We should have no problem with people saying, you know what, we're going to reclaim our land. But for some reason, we have this person in the White House pushing for this group to be shielded like there's some type of a genocide happening to them. When he explained, he said, you know what, there's a lot of crime in our country, and most of it happens to black people in our country. There's not very much of it happening to you guys. You guys are wealthy, living high on the hog. Most of you.
Whoa, in America? In America?
No. In Africa. In Africa. Yeah, it's in South Africa. In South Africa, it's mostly happening to black people. It's not the white farmers that are being killed. Some of them are dying because there's crime, because they have a high crime rate. There's poor country. You know why? Because you guys went there, colonized, pillaged, raped, and took away from those people. That's why. Let's not act like you don't know why this is happening here. And now all of a sudden you want to be you want to be lord over these people and say, hey, you know what?
Well, no, they felt that power gripping away. You know what I'm saying? When you don't have absolute, like you see here in America, that's what this whole last election was. Once you feel that power gripping away from you, and you were like, man, I've been treating people like crap all my life, and my grandparents have done it, my great grandparents have done it, and now I'm about to lose that power, and they're gonna be able to treat me like crap. You know what I'm saying? You can act like you're the victim. You know what I'm saying? Let me run to the other European man who moved away to America, and now he's up under the president, so he can sit here and tell lies. Like you said, those grave sites were, I don't know, but I know that they're not even real grave sites. They were just like they're like basically ceremonial. Like these are for the people who died. People died. I wonder how many years did it take for them to die. People died. Every time they've had somebody from a foreign country come into the Oval Office, look, they had Zelensky up there. They started beefing in public. They had the Prime Minister of Canada. He looked him in the face. He's like, we'll never be the 51st state. You know what I'm saying? This guy from South Africa, it seems like no one's going to want to come to America anymore. You know what I'm saying? All you're doing is belittling people. You get everywhere around them and you're just acting, you're funky. This is stuff you should be doing behind closed doors. And they lie about everything. It's all lies. You tell lies and you're sitting here like you're putting stuff on the screen. Like, look at this guy saying this. Anybody can say anything anywhere. We say it all the time in our country. People in this country say it. We've had people in our sit up who are a part of our Congress and say racist stuff all the time. It happens. It happens a lot. It's not like an abnormal thing for it to happen. Don't point out a fringe party. They don't even run South Africa. This is like a very small group in South Africa. You had 100,000 people in their village. So what? We got a lot of Nazis and racist people in this country. Act like we don't. They're sending money to the lady who called the little boy. Remember the little boy? She's up to $1 million now. Up to $1 million. You know what I mean? Kyle Rittenhouse. You guys know where we live. We know where it is. But you want to have, because you can lord things over people. And the fact of the matter is, this is coming to an end very soon. You guys just don't really realize it. Pay attention to population numbers. Pay attention to GDP growth. It'll tell you more of the story.